Hey guys, and welcome back to Pixel Cherry Ninja's channel. Great news. So previously I covered the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles core in all its glory without sound. So that was the one that was that Furrtek released on his GitHub, and it was compiled by Terminator 2K2. But now Furrtek has actually released a compiled version of the core. There's an RBF available and an MRA available via his GitHub. I'm going to do a tutorial again if you guys want to get this working. It's not available via update tool yet, it is in beta, and if you saw on the character select screens here, there was a little glitch with Leonardo's graphic. There's also some issues with the sound sometimes in the intro, but I just played like the first level of this, and guys, it plays fantastic. It feels so good. The responsiveness is just so good. I think the default difficulty on this was harder than the previous one I played because there seemed to be a lot more foot soldiers. I said foot soldiers instead of stormtroopers. But guys, if you want to know how to get this up and running, I'll run through another really quick tutorial so you guys can get this up and running. Now this on Furrtek's GitHub, you get the 4-player MRA, which means if you're one player like I am over here, you get to play as Leonardo. So if you wanted to play as different players, you'd have to kind of configure the controller to 2-player, 3-player, 4-player. But if you use the MRA that was in my previous video, the one where you can get the core working without the sound, the work in progress core, if you use the MRA that Terminator 2K2 put together, if you use the 2-player one, it does actually work with this. I tried it out, so that way you can play 2 players, but you can pick any one of the 4 turtles. Anyway guys, let's get into this tutorial. So guys, here is a Patreon post from Furrtek, and this is what alerted me to the core being released and led me to it. Now, if you can support Furrtek and his work, and you're in a financial situation to be able to do so, then guys, do so. But here is the post. It's publicly available, and that's how I was able to get hold of it. So once you're on there, you will get a link. So I'll leave a link to his Patreon. Just follow it from his Patreon post, I guess, and you want to click this GitHub link. Let me close this one down. Okay, so this will bring us over here. So what we want to do is, once we're on this page, let's just keep it simple rather than downloading like separate bits. Where it says code over here and there's a drop down arrow, click on that, and then just click download as zip, and that is pretty much all we need, well, with the exception of the ROM. Now this isn't going to be available via update tool. I did actually try it. I put the RBF on, I ran it, it didn't fetch the ROM for me. It may fetch it for you. Maybe I've got some of my configurations or some of my settings are wrong way around, only because I've got so many memory cards. I'm experimenting so much, but I am doing this on my MiSTer stable main memory card. So this isn't an experimental build or anything. This is just the vanilla MiSTer, the one that most of you guys will have. Anyway, once we've got that, let's just get rid of this window, and I told you guys I'm getting more organized, and this is what we have just downloaded. So let's go ahead and just extract that with our favorite extractor. So here we go. Let's just extract this over here, and then we'll go through the files. Now most of you may know this, and if you do it, then cool guys, enjoy it. But there's a lot of people that don't do stuff manually, and it's not that difficult. I'm not a tech savvy guy. I'm just an end user like most of you guys, and I can do it. Let's just get rid of this for good housekeeping, so we keep everything tidy. And right, okay, so let's have a look at this. Oh, we've got another folder in here. Let's now open that. So what we want is, we want an RBF file. So if we go into releases, here we go, we've got the RBF file that we need. Now over on the right hand side, I have got my MiSTer SD card, and now I'm at the root of my SD card, and I'm glad I said it first in this video. So let's go into arcade. So once we go into arcade, and we're going to go into cores, yeah, arcade cores. Once we're in cores, we're going to see lots of RBF files. So naturally, this is going to go over here. So let's just copy and paste that. Now I should have it in here already because I made sure everything was correct before I'd done the video and everything was working. So I did actually try it out. So the video you saw at the beginning was the result of what I'm doing over here. So here we go. We've got our RBF in there. I've still got my old one in there. I've just renamed it old, so that's not going to interfere with that. But that's the one we've put on there. Now this is Furrtek's beta release, which does have sound. So the next thing we want to do, let's go back to releases, and what we want to do is we want to get the MRA file in there. So the MRA file will go in, if you're on the root of your SD card, in the arcades folder. Now have a look, you've got lots of other MRA files in there, so naturally it's going to go in here. So let's just keep scrolling down here, and here we go. We've got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the 4-player Revision X MRA. So let's copy that again. I'm going to have that in my one already. Now remember, I think I said it while I was showing footage of it. If you want the 2-player version, refer to my old video where I've got a tutorial with no sound. Use Terminator 2K2's MRA, the 2-player version, and you can get the 2-player version. So Furrtek's one for the 4-player and Terminator 2K2's MRA for the 2-player version. So you can have the best of both worlds. So once we have done that, we need to get the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game going. So the main version that I'm using, let's just have a quick look. It's 051B, and that works for me. It works well for me. I don't have any issues with it. Every time something comes out for the MiSTer, it works. And what we want is the TMNT .zip. So let's go ahead and copy that, and what we're going to do, let's go back to the root of the SD card. We want to go over to games, and then once we're at games, let's go over to MAME, and this is where you want to copy it. Now when something's released, sometimes the update tool will pick it up for you, provided you've got like an MRA file in there. It will grab it for you. It didn't for me on this instant. It might do it for you. So if you haven't got MAME or you haven't got the ROM, maybe try running update, or maybe there's something up with my settings. But this just released and I wanted to get this out for you guys. So anyway, let's copy the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles .zip, which I already copied, but I was talking too much, so I thought I'd do it again. And let's just paste that in here. Okay, I've already got it, so let's replace the file for the sake of this video. As you can see, it's quite quick. I'm actually doing this over a network because when I'm doing small things, I'm quite happy to do it over a network. But for example, if I'm copying 10 gigs of Neo Geo CD games over, I'm going to take that memory card out. It's going to be too slow over the FTP. And guys, that is it. Now, when you go back to your MiSTer, you should have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the 4-player version there. If you added the MRA from the previous video that Terminator 2K2 has put together, then you should have the 2-player version as well. And here you go, guys. Hopefully you are enjoying Turtles with sound, and the sound sounds amazing. Like, this is one of those iconic arcade games. Like the sound, as soon as you start the game, I just love that soundtrack. And yeah, this is a fantastic game. You might want to have a look at the dip switches to see if you can tone down the difficulty, because there is a lot of foot soldiers here. I'm so happy I keep saying foot soldiers and not stormtroopers. But guys, yeah, check it out. Like, it's real. Turtles is here. It's in beta, but apart from the graphical glitch I saw at the beginning and the intro sound going a bit funny, it's every bit as good as I remember it in the arcade. Now, I'm not using scan lines or any type of visual filters, but if you are playing this on an LCD or a new screen instead of an old CRT, then you might want to turn those on. I generally leave those off when I'm filming YouTube videos because the YouTube compression does a really bad job of them sometimes. But guys, enjoy Turtles. It's ready. It's there for you. Requires a little bit of work. I do hope you found this tutorial helpful. If you did, then a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Honestly, it's super appreciated. It really does help out the channel. And before I go, I want to send a massive shout out to Furrtek. Dude, you are a legend, and making this beta available on a Friday just makes our weekend. And we've got other good stuff as well. I need to work on my news video later, but I wanted to put this one out because it's alive, it's here, and it is banging. Anyway, guys, I'll stop banging on. Have a nice weekend. This is Pixel Cherry Ninja out.